Welcome back to Between the Pylons podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I'm John Camacho.
And this is Jacob Waters.
And we are doing another offseason overview of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this time.
Yeah.
7-9 record. I did not realize they won 7 games.
I didn't either until I had to Google it.
I didn't realize. And it makes sense. Jameis Winston's so good, he keeps both teams in it.
Exactly.
I mean, this team, they really have one big question this offseason, and that's what do you do with Jameis Winston? And it's interesting.
Do you pay him $30 million?
No, you do
for
not.
30 interceptions?
Just to be clear, you do not pay him $30 million a year.
You're going to stand by that?
Absolutely do not pay that man $30 million a year. But if you can, I understand that he said that, but let's strike that from the record just to have a conversation about it. Because, I mean, whatever he was thinking then, somebody has to have talked to him by now and said, hey, you fucking suck. You're probably not going to get that much money.
You can't get $1 million for every interception.
Yeah, that's not going to work. So if they can keep Jameis on a team-friendly deal, I think you do it.
I agree with that. I don't think it's the wrong move.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the side of them going in a different direction, though, just for the sake of the video. Because I don't think he's going to do it team-friendly. I'll just be honest with you. I mean, if he said he wants $30 million.
I think the Bucs are the only place that he can go to where it's not a quarterback battle.
Where they're going to throw it 45 times a game. Yeah, and that's where Jameis's arm can benefit. And, I mean, I'll give you credit. We looked at some of the free agents in this class right now. If you want to call it a free agent class, there's really nobody who can sling it for 30 to 40 times a game effectively.
The way you would want Jameis Winston.
Exactly. Yeah. In an air-it-out West Coast air raid style offense.
That Bruce Arians is known for.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think we agree on that. As far as the team overview, weaknesses, we did say quarterback is a weakness just because – I mean, they have to get better. Whether it's Jameis Winston's decision-making gets better or they move on from him altogether, they have to get better at quarterback. The secondary has been an issue for years, and they do need to get better. Offensive line, and then running back. I mean, they really missed on Ronald Jones a couple of years ago, which I was shocked. He was my number 2 running back that year. And, I mean,
he started to come on for a little bit at the end of last year, but
it just
it just doesn't stick.
It's one of those things where it really feels like when you're a running back and you don't hit in the first 2 years, it just doesn't. It very rarely works out. The teams start to move on really, really fast, and I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Only exceptions, but
yeah, absolutely. So strengths, obviously, wide receiver. I mean, you can't beat that Mike Evans and
Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that. And then the front seven is really good. I mean, especially this past season, they might have some changes coming with, Ndamukong Suh is probably going to move on. We don't know what's going to happen with Gerald McCoy. So, there's some question marks on that interior defensive line, but all in all, it's a really good front seven. As far as notable injuries, there weren't any huge injuries that, that would stand out other than JPP who got hurt. You don't really have any big issues there. We'll move on to free agency.
It all hinges around what they decide to do with Jameis in the quarterback position. Now, regardless of that, though, they have a lot of cap. They have money to spend. $79 million, fourth in the NFL. This is a team that, with Bruce Arians looking to take the next step in his second year, we see a lot of coaches in their second year do really well. They can spend some money. They can go get a guy like David Johnson from the Cardinals, who's probably going to get cut. Get him for,
and that's not
fairly,
huge. Yeah, that's not going to be a huge
cheap
deal.
Yes,
he'll be a cap casualty.
They can get HaHa Clinton-Dix, a guy who's going to be walking away from the Bears who didn't really hit like they hoped he would in that defense for a little bit. Byron Jones for the Cowboys. I love that one. I think they're going to have to pay him. They're going to have to pay him like a true lockdown corner. But for the Bucs, they don't really have a true lockdown. They have a lot of complementary pieces, but they need that. Yep. The other piece that I can see them paying is Chris Jones.
It's another big name that I mean, they have the money to go out and get.
Those are 3 of the 5 top free agents in this group.
And you got to think, if Chris Jones is coming to that defensive line, that does probably mean that you're losing Ndamukong Suh, who is a free agent this year.
Getting older, though.
Yeah,
so it's not
Shaq Barrett's a free agent this year, and you have to wonder, are you willing to pay him what he's probably going to want? Because, he was really just a flash in the pan. I mean, we knew his name, but he wasn't a big name like he became this year.
He's the most unknown sack leader of all time.
Yeah, probably. And then, obviously, it comes all the way back to Jameis Winston. Yes, they have the money to pay Jameis Winston. But like we said at the top of this video, you don't pay Jameis Winston $30 million. You just can't. He's not worth it. He makes too many dumb decisions on the field and off the field. I mean, you take away the on the field issues. I don't know that you can pay a guy to be a franchise quarterback when he has all these question marks off the field, and you don't know what you're going to get from him. If he goes out and parties on a Saturday night.
His entire career's had question marks.
Yeah, it's scary, and the fact that he was a first round pick was amazing. That was talent, shining through all the questions, and now it's like it's time for him to be a free agent.
A needless distraction.
And I absolutely agree with that. But with that being said, where else do you go? You can't. You're not going to get a guy who's probably has the upside of Jameis Winston anywhere, on the market. You could say maybe a Teddy Bridgewater, but he doesn't really fit that scheme at all.
There's not a guy who really fits that mold of slinging. There's one guy in the draft who stands out. I guess we can talk about it later. I mean, I'll throw his name out. Jacob Eason is a guy who I think has a really strong arm out of Washington who has the capability to, but not as a first-year starter. Yeah. That's a guy that you're going to have to groom into that role. The key here would be if Jameis takes a team-friendly deal, and hopefully his agent tells him, listen, man, you're not going to go anywhere else and start. Yeah. You stay here, you can start for 21-ish million.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But for a quarterback, I understand, the top-paid quarterbacks are making 35, so it's mid-range money for a quarterback. But, pay him whatever Ryan Tannehill gets.
He did lead the league in passing, technically. I know there was a lot of mistakes, and in his defense, if he can polish those up, that's a playoff-caliber team.
Yeah. And this is his first year with Bruce Arians, so maybe in his second year, does Bruce Arians think he's gonna, make that step? That's a big question. The big thing for Bruce Arians in the front office is the second they heard $30 million, they were gonna shut that down. They had to.
For sure.
So we've heard a lot of stuff coming out of Tampa Bay, that's kind of diminished Jameis Winston's value, as far publicly at least. I think that's all a ploy to say, hey, we want you, but we're not going to.
You're not getting that.
You're not worth that. You're not a top quarterback, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
There's very few that are worth $30 million out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's guys that are not worth $30 million getting it. I thought you were going to say Jared Goff.
Oh,
Skull. All right, so we will move on to the draft. In the first round, we have Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, corn-fed boy out of Iowa.
Corn-fed boy out of Iowa going in the first round. I mean, it's just a big offensive lineman. I think that's what this team needs. We don't really have a big offensive line going to them in free agency. Maybe they can get, a Brandon Sheriff or somebody.
That's the guy that's going to cause all the bidding wars.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, if you can't get that, I think offensive line has to be, your top priority. Hopefully he falls. Hopefully, you can get one of those top offensive linemen in that first round because, I mean, there's a lot of teams that need one.
Oh, really yeah, and there's not a lot of top-tier ones, but for what they are, you got to get them while you can or else you're not going to get one at all. And it flows well with the second pick being Jacob Eason out of Washington. Yeah. I think that it's a guy that I really don't want to see have to start day one. If he does, there's going to be a lot of mistakes like we saw in Jameis. He's a Jameis with a strong arm. He's going to make a lot of mistakes early on. It's going to take time for him to get in that role. That's why if they can keep Jameis, maybe for a one-year deal with a second-year option, there's a chance that they'd be able to keep.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I really do. At least get something, I think what's best for this team is to keep Jameis Winston. Obviously, we've nailed it from beginning to end of this video. From the beginning to end of this video, we've said not for the money he wants. But, I mean, they have to make a move. They have to do something at quarterback. Yeah, it's the big question. And lastly, in the third round, I really banged the table for this pick. Darius Anderson out of TCU, running back out of TCU. I think, first of all, the Buccaneers, they need to get a running back.
Sure.
I mean, we had them getting David Johnson in the free agency. I think Darius Anderson really would complement him really well. And, it's another one of those guys that's going to be that third down type of back that can catch it out of the backfield really well. I still think he can run between the tackles.
He's very elusive.
He really, really is, and I'm a big fan of him. I think I'm probably higher on him than most people.
That's fine though. You got to find that guy in the draft that you put your stamp on.
I'm going to be okay with that. He's one of those guys that I have ranked, in a 6.0 or higher type of guy, which is that second or third round range for me. And I think he deserves to be there. The more I look at him, the more I watch him, I really believe in that pick, and I think he would fit really, really well with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense.
Bruce Arians will definitely know how to utilize him.
Absolutely. I mean, he could utilize David Johnson. I think Darius Anderson could end up being that same
Shit,
type
if
of
he's
guy.
able to utilize Jameis Winston, like he said in his press conference,
Yes.
if we can win games with this guy, we can win games with another one. So.
Yeah. I mean, that was such a great line.
I know.
Well, all right, guys, that is it. I hope you guys liked that video, liked the decisions that we made for this franchise. Thank you so much for watching. Check back for other overviews on different teams, and like and subscribe for more videos.
Yes.
Check us out on our podcast, Between the Pylons podcast. We put out every single week, and there are videos coming out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the draft as well. If you are interested in draft profiles, I have a ton of videos coming out with that. Just a ton of content, so follow us, guys. It's going to be fun.
Keep watching.
Peace out, guys. Bye.